You guys know you're here.
I don't know yet.
You know you're here.
Hey guys, did you read that book for English?
Yeah, I did. Heart of Darkness. I just finished it. It was pretty dense, huh?
Tell me about it. Marlo was quite the narrator.
Oh, I know. He was so descriptive with everything.
He seems also a bit obsessed with this Kurtz guy. So when he moved to Congo and was worshipped by natives, why should Marlo care?
Well, he'd become pretty legendary in the Congo. Everyone who met him was mesmerized by his speeches, but nobody could clearly explain why. Don't you think you'd want to meet him too?
Yes.
Well, I thought it was neat that Conrad wrote the novel in the perspective that he did. I mean, a story inside a story.
Me too. I couldn't help but notice the amount of references to darkness, though. What was up with that?
Yeah, what is the heart of darkness anyway? I mean, you would think that the meaning of the title could be easily identified by the end.
That's a good question, actually. Given all of Conrad's references to darkness in the story, what is the heart of darkness?
Oh, wasn't that on the study guide? Here. What is the heart of darkness? There are many interpretations to this, so use text and themes when considering your viewpoint.
Well, isn't it just Africa?
Yes, but couldn't it be more of like a figurative element?
Definitely. Conrad references the darkness in the human heart as much as he refers to Africa as the literal heart of darkness.
So, is the heart of darkness a real, tangible thing, or is it an abstract idea? Could it be both?
I think the heart of darkness is definitely the Congo itself, like a tangible place of darkness.
Yeah, chapter 3 refers to Africa as the heart of darkness. Marlowe says a brown current ran swiftly out of the heart of darkness. Given the context, this is proof that the heart of darkness is in the Congo, isn't it?
Sounds like proof to me. At the end of the text, the narrator says that the waterway seemed to lead into the heart of an immense darkness.
But that's about the Thames in London. England is the polar opposite of the Congo.
So Marlowe said that the Congo is the heart of darkness, and then he says at the end of the story that the Thames River is the heart of darkness too.
So the heart of darkness isn't just the Congo.
It's mentioned so many times in so many ways, it can't be just one physical thing.
I think Marlowe gives the title of the heart of darkness to so many people and places throughout this novel. I think it suggests that there's the darkness within people. The heart of darkness is part of human nature that people have inside them.
I think that is right. Conrad seems to refer to the darkness within Kurtz and the darkness within the savages more than anything.
Oh, like here. Marlowe says his was an impenetrable darkness. I looked at him as he peered down at a man who was lying at the bottom of a precipice where the sun never shines.
So we have the Congo and the darkness inside of us. Are there any other answers?
I don't really think so. Let's focus on who specifically has the darkness inside them.
Well, we know that Kurtz has the heart of darkness from the quote that Taylor just read.
And Marlowe describes Kurtz's words as being straight from his heart of darkness. He says, the point was in his being a gifted creature, and that all of his gifts, the one that stood out preeminently, that carried with it a sense of real presence, and was his ability to talk, his words, the gift of expression, the bewildering, the illuminating, and the most exalted and the most contemptible, the pulsating stream of life, or the deceitful flow from the heart of an impenetrable darkness.
Ooh, that's a long one. Alright, so we know Kurtz has a heart of darkness. What other characters in the book?
I think the savages are always described as being pretty dark. Let's see, here's an example. Let me find it, marked it. It says, all their meager breasts panted together. The violently dilated nostrils quivered. The eyes stared stonily uphill. They passed me within 6 inches without a glance. The complete death-like indifference of unhappy savages. I mean, the mood is so primal and savage. Can't you almost feel the darkness implied by the description?
Yeah, and not just for the natives. The Europeans give off a super dark vibe too. Here Conrad writes about the Europeans in the Congo. They grabbed what they could for the sake of what was to be got. It was just robbery with violence, aggravated murder on a great scale, and men going at it blind, as is very proper for those who tackle in darkness.
Wait, Conrad usually refers to the natives with imagery about darkness, but does his quote mean that the darkness is also within the Europeans? I mean, what they are doing sounds pretty dark.
It really does. I guess the darkness exists with even the most civilized Europeans.
So maybe that's what Conrad was talking about when he described the Thames flowing into the heart of darkness. The darkness was in the people and in the land.
I think so. He describes the city of Brussels, which is similar to London, as a whited sepulchre. I think he's saying that while on the surface things are all fine and dandy, on the inside it's actually filled with death and darkness.
Oh, so Conrad is saying that the darkness is inside of all of us and everything.
I guess the heart of darkness really can be both literal and figurative. I mean, he makes plenty of arguments for each side.
You guys remember when Marlowe was talking about the map of Africa he saw as a child? He saw it as a big, white space full of opportunity. And then when he got to Africa, it was nothing like what he expected.
No, not at all. When Marlowe arrived in Africa, he recognized it as a place of darkness. And I think that darkness was brought about by colonization.
Yeah, the Belgians were trying to bring light to a dark continent, but actually they did the opposite. They made a country full of potential into the heart of darkness.
It's like that part where the battleship was firing into the jungle for no reason. It says, the muzzles of the long 6-inch guns stuck out all over the low hull. The greasy, slimy swell swung her up lazily and let her down, swaying in her thin mast. In the empty immensity of earth, sky, and water, there she was, incomprehensible, firing into a calm.
Exactly. The Belgians made the Africans into violent savages. And that quote, and this example in general, include both of our original thoughts. It combines the tangible heart of darkness, that is the Congo, with the figurative heart of darkness inside society and each human.
If it's inside everyone, does that mean Marlo has a heart of darkness too?
I think he does. Remember how he felt when he saw the Africans dancing? He says, "Who's that grunting? You wonder I didn't go ashore for a howl and a dance." Well, no, I didn't. Fine sentiments, you say? Fine sentiments be hanged. I had no time. I had to mess about with white lead and strips of woolen blanket helping to put bandages on those leaky steam pipes, I tell you. Marlo clearly has some tumultuous feelings about the natives. He actually seemed to contemplate joining them in their dance.
And Marl isn't exactly innocent either. Not only does he feel a connection with the natives, but he compromises his morals at the very end.
Yeah, in the beginning he talks about how much he hates lies, but he lies to Chris as intended about his last words. It sounds like the Congo got inside his head and brought out the darkness inside his heart.
So I guess we were all right. The heart of darkness is universal. It permeates people's feelings and thoughts, and there's a constant struggle against it. Even today, people have darkness within them, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying,
And it's a wrap.
wake up. Done.